Okay. All right. What's up? Yeah, I'm not really good at starting videos, but yeah, I don't know, I guess the title's going to be it all. So, I picked up the Messiah Stride Deck set. This should be the premium, yeah, right there, premium edition. Um, I really like the stride mechanics. Back from when they first came out, I was playing Vanguard since like set 4-ish. I kind of got out of the game around midway through the G stuff. Um, and I heard this was coming out. I want to pick up the Chronojet one. I believe I was already talking about this. But, so yeah. I already kind of cut the tape on this, so I'm just kind of showing exactly what you get here. I don't want to ramble on too long, kind of pre-cut the tape. Big shout outs to Mike over at the Launchpad. Really appreciate it. Got me a great deal on this. Launchpad Comics and Games, Lodi, California. He's on Lodi Avenue. Fantastic shop. Huge play area. Good guy. Awesome guy. And, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and crack this open. I guess, let's see. So, a little bit of disclaimer. So this mat, I'll go ahead and give you guys a better view here in a minute. But, I wanted to use this mat in particular because I went to the Anime Expo 2013, I think it was 2013, 2014 or something. They did a huge Vanguard tournament. It was Invaders versus Defenders, if you know what that is, from the anime. Oh shoot, let me get a better look. So okay, comes in like that. Got the cardboard on the top just in case you slice this bad boy open. You don't want to damage this box. Very nice, very pretty. Okay, we're gonna go get the box out of the way, and then so yeah, here's best Yu-Gi-Oh card in the game, Dark Magician Girl, right there, right? Yeah. I actually brought this mat to that tournament, so I just kind of thought, well, if we're gonna crack open some Vanguard, might as well do that. And then if you see these figures in the background, we got the Bat Cave, we got the utility belt. If you know what it is, you already know what it is, but oh yeah, Batmobile, Dark Phoenix, and the Phoenix Force resource dial. Man, I probably should have gotten something a little bit better here, I'm just snapping a couple pics here for probably for some uploads later. But yeah, so this is just something I've been getting back into, HeroClix. I've been getting back into a lot of these games. Sorry for rambling on. I know you guys probably only came here specifically for, this opening, so I do apologize. I got some sleeves already ready for the deck. Main deck, stride deck. Yes, I did buy a whole pack of sleeves specifically for the stride deck. And then over sleeves. This is another thing. Once again, sorry for rambling. If you're going to use art sleeves, I highly recommend using over sleeves. Every art sleeve I've ever used peels quite easily. So, just something I would personally recommend. If you want to do art sleeves, which for Vanguard, that was something I wanted to do. Just kind of feels better. I don't know. Earlier on in Vanguard, it was kind of more of a luxury to have stuff like that. It still is a luxury. They are still very expensive, but I don't know. I feel like they're kind of much wider accessibility, I suppose, today compared to everywhere else. Man, I am so sorry. Like, these videos, they really drag on, and I don't really mean for it to be, but I suppose you could just kind of jump ahead in the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really don't want to hear me ramble on about this. But yeah. Alright, so let's see here. I don't want to tear anything, so I'm just kind of gently crack this open. And here we are. I suppose they do give you a mat. Goes with the Messiah theme. It has the boss monster. Chrono Jet had Chrono Jet. Let's go ahead and pop that baddie right over there. And then they give you a looking at it. I don't really think this is supposed to be like a what is that, pseudo leather or anything, but I think that they give you a little deck box for it. This is pretty cool. Doesn't look like they throw in. Let me see. Nothing really under this junk. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead. Boom. Here's the premium deck. Go ahead and crack that bad boy open here in a sec. Oh man, I should have taken a picture of like inside here, huh? Oh well, all the contents are out now, so I'll just go ahead and grab all this junk out. I've never purchased one of these before. So far there's only been 2 premium decks, I believe. Chrono Jet, or premium stride decks, I should say. For, I guess, the dress format, or overdress, or I just want to call it the standard format. So you get these little stickers, put them on these double-sided little token things. I like these. I heard these stickers scratch off very easily, so that's no bueno. But we got that. Get this big old box. It's a pretty nice box. Definitely not tossing it or anything. Pretty nice box, nice art, and then you also get the deck box. Probably use this for some more card storage, to be honest. We'll go ahead. Oh no, I knocked over the Nick Fury. Oh no, my anarchy symbol. Okay. These top loaders you get with the deck. I don't even really feel like opening these. One of them is for your crest that you get with the deck, because you're unable to use the stride deck without the crest. And your ride line is going to give you your crest. So there's that. Then the rest of your ride line. So there you go. Probably be easier if I up the zoom here. Oh yeah, there we go. That's perfect. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and go through this. I'll just go ahead and do a once-over of the cards. Oh, man. You know what? Hold on. I am so sorry for this. I just want to take another quick picture. Really sorry for this. Yeah, I know. Worst unboxing ever. I'm sorry. Okay. Alright. Yeah, okay, we're Gucci. Just one picture. This is just mainly for posting. Me being a complete and total nerd. Sorry, I'm sweating. It's a little hot in my room where I'm recording, so I'm not like pointing my fan at me. Like, I have it on in the background just to see what it sounds like, but yeah. Okay. Let me see here. So what do we got here? We've got Alter Ego Messiah, your grade 3 twin drive. Generation Break 2, Vanguard Circle. When any locked card is unlocked, Soul Blast 1 and draw a card. Generation Break 2, active if you have 2 or more face-up G units in total on your Vanguard Circle or your G zone. What that means for people who don't know, if you have 1 card face-up in your G zone and you have a unit on your Vanguard Circle from that you've strode on, you've used the stride mechanic, so your grade 4s, which are probably coming up in the deck, you have Generation Break. It counts what's on your Vanguard Circle, and it counts what you've already used. Because at the end of your turn, those grade 4 units that you've used Stride to bring out will go face up back into the G zone. The G zone is where you keep your Stride deck. That's where you keep your cards. And then let me see. When your G unit strides, during your turn, counterblast 1, and lock a rear guard. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, lock it, choose one of your vanguards, and it gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn. Locked cards cannot do anything. They are unlocked and turned face up as stand at the end of their owner's turn. Lock, for people who weren't playing that long, was a very potent mechanic introduced with that Invaders and Defenders arc. The gist was Kai, one of the main characters, was kind of turned over to the dark side, and he started to fight other players because he felt inadequate about himself, so he kind of turned to the dark side from one of the main characters. He fought him, and they were using Link Joker units. That's when they were first introduced, and their whole mechanic was locking. This was probably the biggest control form of deck that Vanguard has ever seen. Basically, what you could do is, like it says, you lock your opponent's cards, which means that they can't do anything until the end of their turn. So you can lock your opponent's front row rear guards, which means that they can only attack with the Vanguard. You can even lock the unit that would boost the Vanguard, so you only need to worry about just the basic Vanguard unboosted. Very, very potent, very, very powerful control mechanic. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. Aren't these supposed to come with like a frame? So this one just like didn't come with the frame? I don't know, maybe America just doesn't get that. Rip, dude. So yeah, we get the 4 copies of the Alter Ego Messiah. And then I believe it goes into our ride line. So Awakening Messiah. When a grade 4 with Messiah in its card name is placed on Vanguard Circle, you may call this card to Rear Circle. If you called a card, Soul Charge 1. And big, it doesn't say you may call it to an open Rear Circle. I also built the Kyrie variant of the Lyrical Monasterio. I wanted to call it Bermuda Triangle, but yeah. So that deck, a lot of the cards will say call it to an open Rear Circle. So kind of big that this one does not need to be called to an open Rear Circle. Auto. When this unit is unlocked during your turn, choose one of your units in the same column as this unit, and it gets power plus 10,000 until end of turn. So, if you don't already know, this deck is very big on locking its own units, locking your opponent's units. Not so much on that part. It seems like they kind of wanted to shy away from it because lock was a very controversial mechanic. Some people loved it. Other people hated it. I'm sure going up against it was not fun. It was very powerful. I kind of have differing opinions on it. I mean, I don't know. I went up against Link Joker decks at that tournament I went to. Very good ones. Chaos Breaker, the works, back when that was meta. Although it is a very potent mechanic, in Vanguard you have ways to kind of counteract and out-control your opponent by doing certain things and pushing them in certain ways. Also, luck being on your side is very big, but I digress. Then we have Asleep Messiah. When this unit is placed by writing from Neon Messiah, draw a card and you get Alter Ego Messiah Crest. So there it is, your crest. Pretty much if you're going to play the deck, you have to play the ride line. Just kind of mandatory. Let me see here. So we got Neon Messiah, auto. When this unit is rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. So just your standard, grade 0 starter. We have a million effects like that for every deck. We have Astrolabe Dragon, Rear Circle, Generation Break 2. During your turn, if any player has a locked card, this unit gets plus 10,000 power. Auto. When this card is discarded from hand for the cost of Stride, draw a card. This is very nice, so I'll go over the Stride mechanic very quickly. At the beginning of your turn, or I'm sorry, you have a Stride phase, right? So you go into your Stride phase. At that point, you have to check if your Vanguard is grade 3 and if your opponent has a grade 3 Vanguard as well. If you both do have a grade 3 Vanguard, you can discard cards up to grade 3, that total grade 3. So you could discard a grade 3, like your Astrolabe Dragon, or you could discard a grade 1 and a grade 2 from hand. You could discard 2 grade 2s. I suppose if you really wanted to, I believe you could also discard a grade 0, grade 1, and a grade 2. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Maybe if they cough bring back the Legion mechanic, but okay. So this is actually a very nice card. Basically, it's going to replace itself in your hand if you stride with it. And another big card is going to be another grade 1 that we go over in the deck. So yeah, these basically are going to kind of help you on your stride turns. You know, they kind of either replace themselves, or they'll give you bonus effects, or what have you. What was that? Okay, so they only have 3 copies here. I believe you get the extra cards later on. I believe they gave you a play set of each card. So if you really wanted to use them, you could go, you know, with a full play set. This guy I'm kind of iffy on. Kaluzer Klein. Continuous rear guard, or rear circle, I'm sorry. During your turn, if any player has a locked card, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. Auto rear circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If you have an Alter Ego Messiah crest, retire this unit, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card with grade equal to or less than your Vanguard from among them, put it on an open rear circle as a locked card, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So here we see an open, you know, the open rear circle requirement. Also, it's a very hit or miss card. Sure, he's going to enable your bigger swings. You know, he's going to, or I'm sorry, not your bigger swings. He's going to enable multiple attacks, I should say, because that's what a big thing with these 2 decks are. The Chronojet deck, and especially this deck, it's unlocking your units, locking your units, and then being able to kind of dish out 5 attacks in 1 turn, 1 Vanguard and 4 rearguard circles. And that's kind of what this deck does. I think it's a very fancy deck. I'm not too big on this card. I don't know, maybe I'm just wrong. I could be. I'm kind of just recently been getting back into Vanguard. I've been getting back into a lot of card games, or, you know, games in general. But I don't know, I feel like this card could definitely be replaced with, I don't know right now, but, you know, in the future, I could see this card being one of the grade 2s that you would cut, just because, I mean, although you're going to free up a rear circle with this guy, you know, he's going to retire himself, but it's just too much. It's too much more RNG. You know, you're checking top cards. Say you hit all triggers, you know, you're screwed. Even if you do hit grade 1s or whatever, it's still like, oh, okay, well, with the mechanics of this deck, we'll go over it. But I could definitely see this card being replaced. Definitely very neat art. That was one of the biggest things for Link Jokers. Their art is just fantastic. Whoever they commissioned to do this art, which, let me see if I can't get a little bit closer there. Let's see, illustrator. I don't know if you could really, let me see if I can't just focus that. I think that's about as good as we're gonna get it. Yeah, there we go, that looks good. Yep. Whoever, like, everyone who does the art on these Link Joker cards it's just fantastic. Let me see here. Okay, so grade 2, Arrestor Messiah, Generation Break 1. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Messiah in its card name, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the battle, and at the end of the battle, lock this unit. Personally, I like this one way more, right? So it might seem odd at the moment. You're locking your own unit. Why do you want to lock your own unit? That just doesn't really make sense, right? We're going to go over that later on in the deck. I mean, I'm sure anyone who's actually going to watch this will already know, but, you know, just in case, you know, we aren't going to spoil it for now, but it's like, oh, well, you're going to get the plus 5k power, but you lock it at the after it attacks. Why would that be good? Ooh. Oh no, I knocked 2 of my Arrestor Messiahs. So yeah, here's your play set. Like I said, I believe you get a play set of everything. Now we're getting into our PG. Flowers in Vacuum, Cosmo Wreath, Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards with continuous Sentinel in a deck. Auto. When this unit is put on guard circle, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until the end of that battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. Okay, I didn't really check into this. Definitely happy they give you the good PGs. What do I mean by that? Now currently in Vanguard, mind you, I came from a time where Perfect Guards were not even put in starter decks. I started with the original Kagero Draconic Overlord deck. Back then, this was one of your biggest investments to the deck. This is when you would people would know, oh, you're kind of serious about this deck, is if you had the Perfect Guards. If the deck wasn't as popular, the Perfect Guards wouldn't be as big of a deal. They'd probably be, $5 or so a piece. Not that bad. But if you wanted a popular deck, Shadow Paladins, Kagero, Royal Paladins. Paladins in general usually were very popular. The Dragon clans, any of the main character clans were usually quite popular. You were looking at $20 plus a pop, depending. I think at one point maybe Revengers, when they were super meta, Shadow Paladins I should say, I think they might have gone up to like $30 a pop. But now we're getting Perfect Guards in decks. This one is the good Perfect Guard. It has a conditional discard effect. This one, when you play it, if your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So that means if you have 2 of these Perfect Guards in your hand, okay, well I drop 1, now my hand only has 1 more Perfect Guard in hand, so I don't need to discard. Other, just like the standard Perfect Guards or the standard Sentinels, it's a mandatory, you have to discard a card. So it's good to know that we got a playset of the good ones. Also, this being the premium deck, everything is foil except for the triggers. I personally think that's stupid because these things retail at 200, excuse my language and pardon my French, $200 fucking dollars. And like, I get it, your SP over triggers are expensive, but like, at least just give me this standard foil, man. Like, come the fuck on. Like, you're smoking crack if you think that, like, we don't deserve foil triggers in a $200 fucking deck. By the way, shout out to Launchpad, the Launchpad and Mike again. He sold me this for $1.80. Like, that's $20 cheaper than retail, and that's just nuts. Mike, you're the best, man. I fucking love you. Let me see here. We got Destiny Dealer. Very important card. Very cool art once again. Continuous Hand. So we have a hand ability now. So while this card is in your hand, while you are paying the cost for Stride, this card may be discarded as a grade 3. Notice how it's a grade 1. So standard, if you're going to discard a grade 1 card, you will need to also discard a grade 2 to equal 3 for your Stride. I believe people wanted to call cards like this Stride Assist units. Very good. These were staples back when I was playing. Back when I was playing during Stride era, you would want 4 of these. You would probably want 4 of your boss, and possibly 4 additional grade 3. Some might even run more than that. But okay. So we have another effect going down here. Act from hand. If you have an Alter Ego Messiah crest, discard this card. Search your deck or drop for up to 1 grade 3 card with Messiah in its card name. Reveal it and put it in your hand. And if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. Now, off rip, you'd probably be like, well, okay, that's pretty good. So you could either use this guy, or you could discard him to search your deck. Deck thinning is deck winning. Cool, very good. There's also another reason why you're going to want to use that effect that we'll get into once we get into our extra deck. Once again, we're going to get 4 Destiny Dealers in this deck. Okay, So now we're getting into more of our grade 1s. Sacrifice Messiah. Generation Break 1. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Vanguard with Messiah in its card name, lock this unit. Choose one of your Vanguards and it gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. Then, if you have no face-up cards in your damage zone, countercharge 1. My god, that is a card. That is a card. I'm sorry. That is, I don't know. To me, that's a fantastic effect. I think that's super cracked. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's coming from me playing a Lyrical Monasterio deck, but just boosting him, by playing the game the way the game is meant to be played, you also get to countercharge 1. Once again, you might be thinking, oh, well, you boosted the unit, now you're locking this guy. I mean, I don't know. You're locking him, so I don't know. But that countercharge, even though it's like, okay, well, you have to have no face-up cards in your damage zone, that is, I thought this was a create-a card. I watched a game. I'm sorry who it was. They upload like full matches. It's kind of almost, they have like a podcast set up. They're pretty fun to watch. I'm so sorry, I forgot who it was. But yeah, he was using this card, and I was like, whoa. What the fuck are you doing? You're swinging for big boy numbers. You're swinging big fucking dick, big dog, big nuts, and then you're getting a countercharge? What? Hello? And yeah, so, I mean, this was the guy that did it. This got me pumped. I don't really have anyone to play Vanguard with, but I still love Vanguard. I still have all my old stuff. And, this was just something I didn't really get to play. But yeah. So, let's see, what do we have here? We have Her Big Claw. Guard Circle. If you have a Vanguard with Messiah in its card name, this unit gets plus 5,000 guard. Auto Rear Circle. When your other unit is unlocked, you may put this unit into your soul. Okay. I was thinking about buying the grade 1 Go Mikazuchis, right? I just didn't know what I was going to replace. This would be the card I replace. Absolutely. 10,000%. That extra guard is nice, sure. But at the moment, it almost feels like to me, in Vanguard, in the standard format, you're trying to guard early because those are the attacks that are easiest to guard. And especially now, with big numbers, big swings, it almost feels like if you don't have that perfect guard, you're just going to get hosed. Like, you're not going to be able to guard anyways. Like, you're going to be depending on triggers, etc. So, that plus 5k shield, I'm not really seeing it happen. There are the draw triggers that give additional shield. Those, I almost feel like the reason why those are in is because you have draw triggers that don't give additional shield. So you literally have, you might not want to run draw triggers. I feel like most decks do, just because it's one of the best defensive triggers in my opinion. Reasoning. What other triggers do we have? Front row trigger is amazing. Plus 10k to your front row, huge defensive power, amazing. We have crit triggers. Plus 10k to one unit, plus one crit. Crit literally does nothing on your opponent's turn that I can think of off top of my head. If it does do something, it's going to be very minimal. It's not going to matter in 99% of situations outside of that plus 10k power that you're going to get. Heal trigger. Once again, amazing trigger. You're going to want to see it. But unless it's a miracle heal, the heal trigger is going to kind of be a toss-up. Obviously miracle heals are great, just draw your outs, bro. But, oops. But, I mean, outside of that, you're mainly just there like, oh, cool, I hit a trigger. You know what I'm saying? Draw triggers, what do those do? Plus 10k to one unit, and you draw an additional card. That is huge. In my opinion, that can change the game from a losing situation to a winning situation, just like a Miracle Heal. I don't know. It's, in my opinion, it's one of the best triggers to hit on defensive. And yeah, I mean, it's like, I just feel like drawing cards is huge. You can draw into your pieces, you can draw into fodder, you can draw into anything in your deck. And that, in my opinion, that is very important for Vanguard. So I feel like in a lot of situations, you're going to be, you're going to want, you just want to kind of want to see those draw triggers, you know. Okay, so now we're getting into our trigger lineup. I was going to pick up a proper trigger lineup of probably 7 or 8 crit testing ratios. You know, I think this deck has enough draw power, in my opinion. I think if you really wanted to, you could run hyper aggressive 11 crit. Over trigger is just mandatory. It is what it is. Love it or hate it. Over triggers are just mandatory. If you haven't been playing Vanguard in a long time, that up there, so that up there, that says plus 100 million. Yes, this is regular trigger, or I'm sorry, well, it's over trigger. It is a trigger unit. It's a trigger that you can hit in your deck, and it will give one of your units plus 100 million. Let me just go ahead and read the text. You may only have one over trigger in a deck. When revealed as a trigger, remove that card, draw a card, choose one of your units, and it gets power plus 100 million until end of turn. If revealed during drive check, activate its additional effect. So if this was hit by your opponent during a damage check, you just get the plus 100 million, you remove it from the game, and then you draw a card. If you hit it as a drive check on your turn, you get plus 100 million to one unit, and then you get the additional effect, which is double the power and critical of all of your front row units until end of turn. That means your Vanguard, that means both of your rear guards, rear units on your rear circle, you double their power and their crit. So if you hit a crit trigger, you move that over to one of your rear units, and then you reveal this. Well, now you're now doubling their power and you're doubling their crit. So that means one of your rear guards are going to have 4 critical, and your Vanguard's going to have 2 critical. Yeah, over triggers are just kind of busted. Then we have Star Aggression Dragon. I believe we just have a standard crit lineup, or I'm sorry, we just have a standard trigger lineup. Bushi, here's another thing for these decks, right? Give us a full trigger lineup. At the very least, give us 2 sets of triggers. Give us 8 crits, 8 draw, 4 heal, because, okay, you don't need 8. You can only run 4 heal in a deck, okay, and 8 front. Let us experiment, because these decks are very expensive. I know for a fact this did not cost $200 to manufacture and to put out there. Please, for the love of God, on future products, give us a full trigger lineup. And let me see here. Aberrant Gleam Dragon is our draw trigger. 2, 3. I'm sorry, what? Oh yeah, they had to take a trigger out of somewhere, right? I don't know, maybe they gave us the 4th one later on. Because I believe, like I said, they do have some extra cards back here so that you can fill out your slots. We got, what is that? Transforming Heavy Machinery, Heavy Constellion. I wanted to say Constellation, but that's absolutely not Constellation. So that's our front trigger. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're on our heal trigger. Alter Rate Sphere Dragon. There's our heal trigger. 2, 3, and 4. And here's our Stride deck. Kind of hard to read, but these, whoo boy, these look great. Honestly, the whole deck should have been like this, in my opinion. I don't know if you can see that texture on there, looking good. This is one of the reasons why I love Vanguard. This is what got me in. This is what got me hooked on that cardboard crack. So, Genesis Dragon Excelix Messiah. Stride step. Discard a grade 3 card with Messiah in its card name from hand, and stride this card on your Vanguard circle from face down. So right there, you see we needed a Messiah unit. There's no other Messiah units in this deck outside of Alter Ego Messiah. So, I've kind of taken to calling it Persona Striding. Because it's the boss of your deck. That's the card that you want to go into, is the Alter Ego Messiah, and you need that named card basically to stride that unit. So now you're deck thinning, and you're going to be able to go into Excelix if you want to. So let me see here. Vanguard Circle Generation Break 2. When this unit attacks, counterblast 1, choose any number of any player's locked cards and unlock them. If you unlocked a card, choose the same number of your rear guards as the number of cards unlocked with this ability. Stand them, and until the end of turn, all of your front row units get plus 10,000 power, and this unit gets plus 1 critical. So this unit's also going to get the plus 10,000 power because it says your front row. Front row units get plus 10,000 power. And it gains a bonus critical. Very good. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, it's also, if you don't unlock all of your rear guards, because they unlock, remember, they are unlocked as stand. So they're already going to be standing. If you unlock one of your opponent's rear guards, you're able to stand that unit. So say you have a unit that you swung with, it didn't lock itself, so you can unlock any number of units. If you really wanted to, what you could do is you can unlock all of your units if all of them were locked, and now they're standing, so they're good to go. But that just is something. It's like if you have a rested unit, you can unlock one of your opponent's units to stand your rear guard, because you stand units up to the number of cards you unlocked. Which, wait a minute. If you unlocked a card, choose the same number of your rear guards as okay, so I mean, it's even your cards. So, but hey, in the result that your opponent didn't have anything, or I'm sorry, if you didn't have anything, we got our 4 copies of that. Boom, boom. Onto the other stride unit. Once again, very pretty, very textured, very nice. Genesis Dragon Amnesty Messiah. Stride step. Choose one or more cards from your hand with the same, with the sum of their grades being 3 or greater, and discard them. And stride this unit on your Vanguard circle from face down. Another big thing with these stride cards, what happens is, your original Vanguard, your grade 3, is considered what's called your heart. It's your heart card. It's not part of your soul. So if you soul blast a card or something, right, you can't soul blast the heart card. Also, your heart card gives its name to whatever you strode upon. So this Genesis Dragon Amnesty Messiah will also become Alter Ego Messiah. So if you have cards that need that, Alter Ego Messiah, they're still going to work even if you're on Genesis Dragon Amnesty Messiah. Another thing with Stride, just wanted to throw it out there. So Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks, counterblast 1, and turn a card from your G zone face up. Choose any number of any player's locked cards and unlock them. Choose one of your rear guards, and it gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn for each card unlocked by this ability. So, very big power play. This is kind of if you know your opponent doesn't have enough, or they don't have like a perfect guard to guard that last hit, because you can unlock a pretty big amount and just buff one of your units, you know. Also, another thing with this guy, it says that you turn a card face up. It doesn't have to be an Amnesty Messiah. It could be the Exilix Messiah. And that's what I see a lot of people do, is they'll flip up the Exilix, because the Exilix, I don't believe, had a flip face up ability. Yeah, no, it's just on attack, you counterblast one, and you do your thing. So, Amnesty Messiah doesn't require you to flip up another Amnesty Messiah, and the Exilix Messiah doesn't require you to flip anything up at all. So, a lot of the times people are going to go into the Amnesty Messiah more, so they'll flip up the Exilix Messiah, because usually that's like, I need to push you for the finisher, I know you don't have anything, Exilix Messiah, let's go. So, that's what I saw a lot of people doing. So we get the 4 copies of that. And I believe, back here, yeah, we got some more extra cards. Boom, right here. We have our fancy Alter Ego Messiah Crest. You can perform Stride and cannot ride grade 3 or greater cards without Messiah in their card names. Continuous. The original power of your grade 3 cards with Messiah in their card names become 13,000. Continuous. During your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Messiah in its card name, all of your front row units get plus 5,000 power for each face-up card in your G-Zone. Mind you, that says in your G-Zone. This is not the same as Generation Break. They have to be face-up in your G-Zone. So if you're picking up this deck, just remember that. It's not going to be like Generation Break, where it counts what's on your Vanguard circle and face-up in your G-Zone. Only face-up G-Zone. At least is what I'm reading right here. Auto. At the end of your turn, unlock all of your opponent's locked cards and bind those units. So, I do like this. That is nice. There's really nothing that's going to get back bound cards. Cards in the bind zone. I do have some qualms with this. In my opinion, it makes lock a much less potent control tool, and I honestly feel like it should be an optional thing. I don't know. Maybe maybe I'm triggering people's PTSD here. In my opinion, this auto should be optional. At the end of your turn, you may unlock all of your opponent's locked cards and bind those units. I feel like in our current metagame, with what we're seeing, what decks are doing what decks are performing, etc., etc., I just personally feel like it definitely should be an optional thing. Mind you, I'm not trying to call into question the power of this deck. I'm just trying to say for options for the player, and I just like, I don't know. I feel like you should be able to have that more controlling option, in my personal opinion. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold up. All right. And then this is like the turbo fancy one. Okay, so we get 2 crests, 1 regular, 1 turbo fancy. I don't, I need to check that box again, because this is the one that you would frame. This is the one they want you to frame. Anyways, and then here are the like extra cards, right? So here is your 3 Awakening Messiah, and then you only get 1 extra copy of the Astrolabe to give you your play set, which means I mean, you don't need them. But having having the extra copies of the grade 1 and the grade 0, you don't get your full playset of everything. And also, yeah, that means so you only have 3 draw triggers. Okay, so while I go back through this box, what can I say here? I like these decks. They're very cool. They're very neat. yeah, I mean, like they're very cool. I like that, you know, what they're bringing back. I like these old mechanics. Um, yeah, I didn't get a frame with this, so I don't know. I don't know if you just don't get them anymore, or I'm sorry, that you don't get them with the English release. Maybe you just don't get them with the English release. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I don't know. So here, if all you came for was just what you get in the deck, there you go. So here at the end of the video, I'm just gonna kind of give my thoughts and opinions, and then I was probably gonna give a little update on just my life and stuff. Boring crap, so you could tune out for that. But anyways, what do I want to see in these products? Give me full play sets of everything. If I want to run it, I should be able to run it. And if I'm paying you a premium price, I don't think it's unfair of me to ask for the options to run any number of things that I want within game rules. Once again, give me a playset of the grade 0 and a playset of the grade 1, even though they literally don't do anything outside of your ride line. Just give me the option. Once again, I really don't think printing those 6 extra cards are going to break the bank here. I do like how they gave you the full play sets of the grade 2 in the ride line and the grade 3, the other grade 3. I do like that. Another thing, give me foil triggers. Again, this thing retails at like $200 for the premium. The deck box is cool. Admittedly, the deck box is cool. The playmat is cool. Give me foil triggers. They could literally just be special foil triggers that only come in this deck, so that they don't kind of intertwine and intermingle with the foiling of the other triggers. Because I get it, you know, oh, well, my foil triggers are expensive, those things hold value, blah, 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 blah. I understand that. But once again, look how much we're paying for this product. Is someone really going to pay $200 to crack this and then sell it not at a premium price? I don't think they are. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you're really going to see a negative. You know, once again, they don't need to be crazy. Like, you don't need to give me the SP copy of the Overtrigger. Just give me a foil Overtrigger. Again, I'm paying you a premium price, very, very premium price for this. I expect premium product. Not to say that what I got wasn't that good. All I'm saying is, to sweeten the pot of a triple-digit priced product, that's what should happen. I should get some foil triggers to go along with the blinged out deck, in my opinion. Another thing, right? I bought these. These were extra. These two cost me almost an additional $50. Maybe it's not the same in Japan. Maybe it's not the same in your area. But why does this premium product that should give you everything you need to sleeve up and play, keywords here, sleeve up and play, right? Why does it not come with sleeves? I get it. Art sleeves can be expensive. They're nice. They're fancy. I don't know. Maybe don't give art sleeves. Because here's the thing, though, right? Like, with the art sleeves, again, not to call into question quality, because Bushi, every time I bought stuff from them, their stuff has been quality. But this is just the flaws with art sleeves, or at least non-Dragon Shield art sleeves that I've used. They will peel very easily. I am a broke boy, so I am not going to open one of these just to waste a sleeve. Also, I am a hoarder. If you can't see in the background, you probably can't see all my garbage back there. I don't know, I'll just do a quick little... yeah, some playmats. That's actually a wall of deck boxes back there. Yeah, I have a problem. Yeah, those are playmats stacked on top of playmats. You probably see the corner there of like a little Pokemon thing that I haven't opened, and then that's Arkham Horror, whatever. But yeah, so even if they're not like super fancy art sleeves like these, give us a pack of sleeves. It could be basic. They don't, you know, I mean, I would say, yeah, splurge on the art sleeves, you know, give us a pack of these art sleeves. At the very least, give us enough to sleeve up what we get. Give us the 50 card main and then the 8 card stride, right? At least give us that. If we're going to get more stride decks, which they haven't announced those yet. They haven't announced any. We've only got Chrono Jet and Messiah. Who knows if we get more? It's been very mixed. Some people love it. Some people despise it. But yeah, once again, give us a pack of sleeves. You give us everything else. You give us a deck box. You give us the playmat. Great stuff. You give us some tokens. You know, you give us some tokens to place, because I know that's definitely a thing. Another thing, you know what? Guess what America hasn't gotten in a long time? I didn't even think about this until right now. Let me just go ahead and come over here. Okay. Once again, Dark Magician Girl, Gym Tech. Love their Gym Tech products, by the way. Very good stuff. You might already know. You probably hear them, right? If I can get one out. This is one of the reasons why I bought a display of the Lyrical Monasterio boosters. Or not boosters, but decks, trial decks. Each one comes with one of these, and let me just go ahead and pull one of these out. One of these. This one has smaller digits, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has bigger digits, 5, 10, 15, 20. This is a little awkward. I really wouldn't use this. This is where we would use the coins, because the crit stuff is kind of a pain in the ass unless you want to use dice. But anyways, I've seen a bunch of these from Japanese players. I honestly, I've only seen a few English speaking players using these, because I mean, this is the only time that I know of where these were printed in decks. I would kill to have these, or I would have killed to have these back in the day. I guess where you didn't really need these, when power wasn't this redonkulous. Yeah, no, I mean, print more of these. These are great. These are fantastic. I want to see more of these. It's very good to have this representation nice and clear for your cards. This would have been a great time to reprint these. Hell, shove a handful of them in this deck box. Fill it full with these. I don't care. Just give us more of these. This is a fantastic tool. And for hoarders like me, it's a neat little knick-knack, right? There's, you know, maybe it's a conversation piece. What the hell is this thing? You know, what do you roll it like that? What is the roll? What is? It's like, well, no. This was specifically for a card game called Cardfight Vanguard. So yeah, seeing more of these printed would be fantastic. I would love to see that. At the very least, in new trial decks. Moving forward, premium decks. This is a huge thing. You should be printing these in premium decks. I can understand maybe not the decks that are the non-premium variant, where I think they only retail at $50. I don't know what you get in those. I can only say what I've gotten here, because this is the one that I've purchased. But yeah, I mean, once again, stuff like this really kind of softens the blow for a $200 price tag. Just saying. So, yeah, in my opinion, what can be changed with these premium products? I mean, at this point, the video is almost an hour long because I'm terrible with shit like this. But yeah, quick recap. Maybe a little bit of quality control on these. I don't know. I haven't used them, so I can't really say. But I've heard that the stickers scratch off very easily. Pretty much giving you a blank sticker that's supposed to keep track of things on these coins. I do like these coins. I don't know. Maybe laser etch them. Maybe engrave them. I don't know. But yeah, so maybe a little bit of quality control on these. I can't really say, though, for sure. Another big thing, right? Premium product. Matte deck box. Where's my sleeves? How am I supposed to play your card game without my sleeves? Right? You know, you can't really, I mean, do you want me to just crunch? Like, do you really want me to just take this premium product that I just bought for $200 and just mash them together, ripping my cards to shreds? Because that's what's going to happen if you don't have your sleeves. Yeah, big thing here. Another big thing, even as stupid as it sounds, and I'm probably going to get called an idiot by a lot of people, give me play sets of every card in the deck. I don't care how useless it seems. I don't care how stupid it seems. Give me my ratios. Give me my full play sets. I'm giving you a premium price. I'm giving you 200 USD for this deck. I want options. As stupid as it sounds, I should be able to play 4 grade zeros in my deck. I should be able to play my full play set of my starters. I should be able to play a full play set of the grade 1s that literally do nothing outside of, you know, just giving me my crest on ride. As stupid as it sounds, just my opinion. Another thing, triggers. Come on, Bushi. Don't cheap out on me like that. I get it. A lot of people say, oh, well, that's where a lot of your value's held. That's, you know, oh, well, you know, my triggers, my foil triggers are holding their values in these sets and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, you're going to tank my price. Not true. That is not true. If we print the foiling specifically for this deck, right, we match foiling, this is a completely different copy of the card. If I want the double rare foiling, which is just a smooth foil, I have to get that version of the card. Hell, give me a different art. Give me a different art on these too. Like, just give me my foil triggers. Because once again, I'm paying a shitload of money for this deck. In my opinion, you should be getting foil everything. Foil everything and play sets of foil everything. Once again, in my opinion, those triggers, you should be getting 8 copies of each trigger. Obviously, minus the over trigger and minus the heel trigger. Just depending on generosity. If they really want to be generous, sure, give us 8 over triggers and 8 of the heel trigger. You know, we totally don't need those. But, you know, I mean, hey, those over triggers can go into different decks. So if they're really feeling generous, do that. If they're not, 4 heel, 1 over trigger, and 8 of the rest. Let us experiment without having to jump through additional hoops. So that's kind of my opinion on how to make these premium decks better. Just my opinion. Also, why did America get skimped out on the frame? We have both of the crest cards, but you know, they kind of skipped out on us when it came to the frame. You know, because like now it's like I have this fancy crest. I guess I could just use it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I have it twisted. Maybe the Messiah deck didn't come with the frame, but I thought it did because I know Chronojet came with the frame. I'll have to kind of look back at the listings, but you know, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of my review of all this. Very neat product. Obviously, the premium price is, you know, it's steep. I do like how they give us options, because in any other card game, this wouldn't be an option. We would just have the premium. That's all you get. But they do have the budget option. They have the option for $50, and you get the same deck. It's just not as blinged out. So yeah, I mean, it's a very neat product. I like what they're bringing out here. It does kind of it does kind of defeat the purpose of retiring the stride mechanic just to bring it back. Um, and Bushiroad, I feel like they have a really big problem when it comes to power creep. Their way to deal with power creep is to make something that's even better. And then they usually won't have a ban list. At least back in the day, they really didn't have like choice restrictions or bans. Um, Outside of certain niche scenarios, like I remember for the longest time the grade 0 Dragon Knight Conro for Kagero. He was allowed to be in your deck, but he couldn't be your starter. That used to be what the restrictions really were. Is a lot of the time they would be on starters. So that one got hit. That was a very notable hit, also because Kagero was one of my favorite, if not my favorite, clan and deck. But yeah. Words. I don't know how I can stream and just not say shit for hours, but here I am on an over an hour long fucking video reviewing Vanguard cards, like a Vanguard deck of all things. Yeah, it's a very neat product. It's a very neat product, and it kind of gives people an in to, I guess, what Vanguard was like, or what it could have been like in earlier stages. I know they have the extended formats. I forgot what they're called. But basically, it's the same shit as like Vintage and Modern in Magic the Gathering, where pretty much there's formats where you can use cards from the very first set ever printed all the way through the newest set. Mind you, a lot of older decks kind of don't compete, except for once power creep really hit hard, like with a lot of the stride decks. What was it, like Steam Maiden? There was that Neo Nectar deck that was hit for the longest time, that stride unit. It's a lot of stride stuff. You're not really going to see, like, BT1 Dragonic Overlord do anything. But yeah, once you got into Stride and Legion, that's kind of where everything kind of got hit off. I guess from here I kind of branch off into more generic crap. I mean, that's just kind of talking about the game in general, though. We've got stuff, like, I know a lot of people were kind of hung up on the whole nation versus clan support system. I understand it from both ways. I know how Bushiroad could kind of make things a little bit more concise and targeted, where it's like, okay, well, this is Link Joker, so we're going to make Link Joker support. Versus, okay, Brantgate. We're going to make Brantgate support. It's so much easier to just go all 5 nations are supported. But it's much less focused, and then on top of that, I really feel like that's where a lot of bad balancing comes into the game, because you get things that might have made sense in a certain clan, but now it makes other clans kind of overpowered and kind of ridiculous. For instance, Brainwash Swirler, a blatant card that should have been in a Dark Irregulars deck, is now being used in a Gear Chronicle deck because they're both from the Dark States. Why does that matter? Look at the choice restriction in Japan, how GG and Brainwash Swirler cannot be used together, right? Like, this is kind of where it comes in. Like, more things are going to see support. We're going to see support for nations, but now cards that are specifically designed with the whole theme and the whole clan system in mind, like Brainwash Swirler and Dark States or Dark Irregulars in general, we see cards like that skyrocket. $60. And now after the reprint, it's still like $30. And why is that? Because it works so well in so many different decks for Dark States that you want a playset of them for everything. So once, I kind of see it from both sides. It's cool that we get support. It's cool that we get support for everything. It's so much easier to support. But the problem is we see unintended combinations of things that shouldn't go together, you know? And that kind of sucks, because then we see choice restricts and bans and limitations and blah, 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 blah. But then you also, here's the positive side, right? Clans like Mega Colony, during the Legion stuff, completely shat on. There's like nothing for them because they weren't a very popular clan. So they just kind of got skipped over. No one used them in the anime, and they didn't really sell products. They were very niche. And that's kind of the things that happened. You'd have over-supported stuff like Revengers. That's another very good one, actually. Originally, Shadow Paladins were very, very terrible. It was just a bad deck. There's no two ways about it. It just really didn't do much, and the things that it did do, it didn't do well enough to counteract its negatives, and its negatives were you would sacrifice your own units to gain effects. That just, like, the amount of units that you'd have to pay to sacrifice really didn't give you board advantage, and it didn't really give you an advantage at all, really. Until they got over supported in it was actually during the invasion stuff with the original Link Jokers, the Starvaders and the Defenders, where they became super meta. I actually remember an ARG event that I judged where we sold, like, this, at the launch pad again, we sold out of the Revenger decks because everyone wanted it. Everyone fucking wanted it, and it was just sold out everywhere because this was a big 75-person event or some odd. And yeah, it was just gone. Some people were mad because they're just like, oh, well, that was a deck I was going to use today. And it's like, well, that's unfortunate, like, it's a very popular product, and everyone else bought it out before you got here, man. Like, sorry, like, we didn't order 300, versions of this thing, it's just not feasible. Sorry. So, I mean, yeah, like, we just had these situations where it was just like things could have been shitty until they either get over supported, like Shadow Paladins and Revengers in general, or we just have situations where things just never get supported and they're just completely locked out. And I mean, especially at this point, with things moving forward the way they are. Yeah. But anyways, I think that's enough about Vanguard for now. That's enough about me ranting. Yeah, so I mean, where have I been? A bunch of stuff's been happening. Nothing crazy. Okay. Some sad stuff. I don't really want to get into it. But, pushing on, keeping on. I haven't streamed in, like, probably damn near a month. It's definitely been weeks. I'm going to get back into it. I don't know, I've kind of been in a rut with video games. I've been working a lot more recently. Might not sound like a lot to a lot of people, but 6 days a week. That's kind of what is allowing me to kind of splurge on my toys, so to speak, splurge on my toys, so to speak. By the way, going to be more HeroClix stuff. I've been uploading HeroClix stuff to my social medias and junk, but, yeah. I don't know about uploading games, per se, but definitely pictures and stuff. Going to be uploading those to my socials. Just kind of having fun, hanging out. I don't know. I've been buying some stuff off of eBay. Maybe I'll do some more unboxing crap. I cleared up a lot of space on my phone, which is why I'm now able to record well over an hour of video. In hopefully relatively high quality, but I'm also going to be uploading from my phone, so that is just going to destroy my fucking battery. I wanted to do a little update when I got this Batcave. because this thing is super cool, right? I think I've uploaded pictures of my Colossal Thanos. That was a prize piece. This thing actually was the prize piece to the next thing, which is, oops, sorry, Nick Fury, the Batman utility belt. So this little resource dial right here, which also, by the way, can I just say how happy and giddy I am, like, that you have a little spot for your resource dial. I've got to say, that is like the best thing ever. I love it. I was legit like playing with this for like an hour, over an hour. You know, here's another little resource dial fit tucked, you know, snugly in here. I love that so much. This I actually picked up from my other local game store, Comic Grapevine. Shout outs to Alan, he's the man. Love Alan too. Two amazing comic shops. Like, maybe I've just been spoiled my whole life, and I've had two amazing comic shops with lovely, amazing owners. Maybe I've just been spoiled. I don't know. But yeah, both of the comic shops in my local town are actually just the best. Like, hands down, no cap. They are the best. You know, as long as you're not a doucher, they'll treat you well. So yeah. So you know, that's been happening. God, I don't know. How long do I want to keep this video going? I think for the smaller things, like I've ordered a couple little pieces for HeroClix. Maybe I'll just stick to uploading those to my social medias. I don't know if I'm ever not going to be a complete lazy piece of shit. Maybe I'll start putting my socials and stuff back in the description below. I don't know. I'm very lazy. If you haven't seen from my uploads of my stream VODs, I don't even put a link to anything. I literally just I export it from Twitch and upload it to YouTube. Because I'm just that lazy. I'm just couldn't be fucked with it, you know? Like, I just kind of do this for fun. And I have fun doing it, you know? I haven't shut the fuck up in over an hour and 10 minutes, and I'm still going. So, I don't know, I just kind of do what I have fun with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know what else I mean, like I said, I've said this in a few other videos. I was thinking maybe I could do some deck profiles. I kind of want to upload some HeroClix content, to be perfectly honest, because there's not that much out there. I'm trying to like look up like, oh, can I do an Asgardian team with like a, you know, like Black Widow, Thor, oh my god, what's her name? Or Jane something, when she becomes Thor, and then the Mary Jane. Oh, no, she wasn't Thor, but like she was like a Mary Jane, like Valkyrie. And I'm just kind of like building these random teams, kind of just having fun, kind of just doing some random crap. And like there's no information about it. I literally typed in like I wanted to do a HeroClix Bombshells team, which Bombshells, if you didn't know, it's basically so like DC, and it's themed for like the World War II. Kind of women can do it too, you know, get women into the workforce, you know, themed after that, on the little pieces. And, you know, you could build a little theme team with it because they all have that keyword, bombshells. And I'm just like, oh, cool, let me try to look up some videos for that, because like they seem very interesting. I really love the pieces, the themes, and all that. So I'm trying to look for it, and there's like a couple videos, but there's really nothing concrete, you know, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, there's just like not much content, you know. There's a handful of people that like kind of keep up to date with HeroClix, HC Realms, HC, HeroClix headquarters, or HC headquarters. There's like HC USA, like there's like a very small handful of people. There's just a small handful of people holding it down out here, man. And I just like, I don't know, maybe I just kind of want to upload a couple random stupid fun teams. By the way, that Dark Phoenix is fucking cracked. She's nasty as fuck. Super happy I picked that up. We played a 400-point game, and I just used her at 300 points, and then I used like Spider-Man, and then I used the Phoenix Force. I gave her I gave her the range. I gave her the Cyclops piece, which gives her range combat expert, which makes her it makes her attack power even more ridiculous on top of buffing her damage, which is super atrocious. And then I used the 60-point uncommon Spider-Man from Spider-Man Beyond Amazing. Super underrated piece, by the way. 60 points, a full dial of unoutwittable super senses with the Spider-Man team ability. That's a 50-50 super sense through the entire dial for 60 points. That is nasty, my man. I can tell you that is nasty. I actually ended up giving him the Colossus piece because that Dark Phoenix never has something that doesn't reduce damage at least by 2. So knowing that, I'm like, okay, well, she's never going to pick Colossus, so I might as well give that to Spider-Man, because guess what? Now Spider-Man has a 50-50 chance of dodging an attack on top of having damage reduction. That, my friends, is gross, on top of the fact that we're using the Phoenix Force, which is probably, in my opinion, is the best team buff resource, period. If you're looking to casually get into some hero clicks, I would definitely say these resource dials, the utility belt, which is like, they're all roughly the same price. They're about $25-ish, fully loaded, mind you. Resource dials are huge. You can't use them in modern age or standard tournaments, mind you, but they're just very nice to have. That Phoenix Force, in my opinion, is probably one of the best team buffing pieces out there. One of the funnest resources I've used, actually, is the Book of the Skull. That one is super fun to use. Probably like the best single piece that the best single buffing piece. So like, all right, so for instance, so this Batman utility belt, you can only put this onto one character because it's a utility belt, right? Versus the Phoenix Force, as you can see, there's 5 pieces on there, and it's meant to buff multiple people. So you could assign up to 5 characters that are 40 points or more, and each piece has its own little point cost. You could assign that immediately at the start of the game to up to 5 pieces on your team. Mind you, the less pieces you assign, the more powerful that dial is going to become. And this just automatically happens. Book of the Skull, you have to be at least 5 spaces out from your starting zone, and then you have to perform a power action to pick up those hammers. It's a very fun thing to use. It definitely is powerful, but once again, like, in my opinion, it kind of takes a little bit too long if you're kind of playing a faster game. Man, we went from Vanguard to hero clicks, but I mean, this is kind of a big part of what I'm doing lately. I've kind of just, I kind of just get home, I relax, try to chill out from work, mess around with my cards, mess around with my toys. I've been loving that Batman cave, by the way. Funny story about that, right? So I'm going to take a peek over here, right? So this Batcave, there was supposed to be an Alfred sitting on the piece, right? Well, when I bought it from the guy, I sent him an or best offer, and he accepted it. I paid the guy, and then I looked at the thing, and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't see an Alfred on the piece itself. I see him there on the card, but, where's the Alfred on the piece? And he's just like, oh, man, my son must have gotten to it. He must have broke it or whatever. I'll refund you. And I'm like, well, I still want the Batcave, so would you shave a little bit more off? And He's just like, yeah, well, how much? And I'm like, would you shave off another 10? He accepted, so he gave me a partial refund of $10 more. I got the Batcave for super cheap, and all's well with the world. We ended up chatting some more as well. And this utility belt, it came used, and it came without a lid on it, right? So he's just like, hey, is there anything else I could kind of throw in to kind of, kind of like sweeten the deal for you, because I know the Alfred's broken off in there. And I'm just like, you know what? Do you happen to have a lid for the utility belt? Because this one that I bought on eBay didn't come with one. And he's like, you know what? As it turns out, yeah, I do. I found an extra one while I was cleaning out some of my stuff. So he threw it in there, and he also gave me a handful of extra pieces. So the two Alfreds you see up here, one of them I actually ended up ordering. And mind you, I didn't tell the guy about this, so this was actually really cool. He ended up sending me the other Alfred because you need specific Alfreds to go with this Batcave. Because there is an Alfred dial on the back of the Batcave, but he has an ability where he comes off, where you generate one of two Alfreds, right? So I randomly bought one off of somebody on eBay, and he, without me telling him, without knowing anything, he sends me the other Alfred I didn't have but was probably going to buy because I just wanted to have both. And it's like, that was super lucky, super just out of left field. He gave me some other really cool pieces as well. He gave me like this penguin that also counts as a resource dial for 10 points. And then he gave me this really cool poison ivy. I actually remember Brian, my friend Brian, used it on me. And it was super neat back in the day. Now it's like way too over point valued. But other than that, super neat piece. Very, very neat sculpt as well. I don't have it on hand, otherwise I'd probably show it, but yeah. I mean, and I have all my old HeroClix stuff, and I've kind of just been amassing more and more. But yeah, and I don't know, I've been having a lot of fun. I've mainly been playing with one of my friends, Toby. We play pretty often, 2-3 times a week or so. But yeah, I mean, and then a bunch of my other friends started playing again too, and I'm just like, damn, you know what? Like, it do be looking pretty cool. I haven't gotten anyone back into Vanguard. This is probably going to be one of my last Vanguard purchases for a while, unfortunately. I do still love Vanguard. I have all my old decks. I have a Star Vader deck with 2 SP Chaos Breaker Dragons in it. I have... God, I probably have like 4 Kagero decks. I have a Dragonic Overlord, the Cross deck, and then I have the Grade 4, the Novel Vague deck. Man, I'm like, what else do I have? Oh yeah, I have Eradicators for Narukami. I have my Revenger Shadow Paladin deck. God, it's just like I have like everything. I have like multiple Neo Nectar decks floating around. I think I have a part of an Aquaforce deck. Oh yeah, I actually have my Gear Chronicle deck with the hot stamped, the signed Chronojet, which is one of the big reasons why I wanted to get the Chronojet deck set, because I was going to use that as my main card for my ride line. I think I might buy the Brantgate decks, because, I mean, the Prison deck just seemed pretty neat to me, and then on top of that, I could fix my trigger lineup up, for this deck, like I said, I'd probably go, I would recommend, super late into the video, but I'd probably recommend those 4 Go Mikazuchis and replace this guy, the Tiger, because he's not that good, and you could use that Soul Charge to draw more cards, and then I'd probably say use 8 critical triggers, 3 draw triggers, because you want to go aggressive and as fast as possible to push your opponent into a losing situation, and crit triggers are one of the best, if not the best way, outside of like over triggers, mind you, to push your opponent to that point where they have to guard or they're going to lose or hope for a miracle heal. So yeah, those are kind of the big changes I would suggest with this deck. I probably should have said that a lot earlier. I was gonna buy those Gomi Kazuchis, but they were already kind of creeping up. They were like $17, and then now they're like $20. I haven't checked them in a minute. These actually went up when this deck got closer to releasing as well, which was a pain in the ass. I don't know. I still might pick them up just to kind of like spoof out the day. You know, it's like, oh, sweet, you know, freaking complete type of thing. But I don't know. Like I said, I really don't have anyone to play with. Like, no one locally plays it. I just really like Vanguard. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll just kind of play it for fun or whatever. Although, people probably wouldn't have too much fun playing against this. Usually, people don't like playing against control-y stuff. Although, this is much less control than original Link Joker type stuff. But, I don't know. Also, you know, fixing up the trigger lineup is another big thing. This is also why I'm a huge advocate of give us proper lineups. Give us room to tool around and play with, please. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to waste anyone's time by, like, sleeving up this deck. I'll kind of just do that while I watch probably HeroClix videos on YouTube. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, this video is almost an hour and a half, and it's going to take 20 fucking years for this thing to upload to my YouTube channel. So, I mean, I think I'm going to cut it here. My phone is probably on fire. It's not... Well, you know what, actually. Oh, hold on. That's where the camera's at. Sorry. Actually, not that bad. My phone is not, like, freaking a volcano. Surprising. But yeah, so I mean, I kind of have a couple random videos kicking around in my head. It's probably going to be something like this, right, where I take one of my playmats and just kind of set it up and then go over my team at my table here. I feel like that's probably the best course of action. I don't know, maybe I'll film some mail days. I don't know, just some casual stuff. Definitely want to get back to streaming. I've been having a lot of fun with that Rebecca playthrough I'm doing on Cyberpunk. But I don't know, I mean... Like, the next game that I'm really excited for is Armored Core, and I'm probably going to be streaming a lot of that. I've been keeping up with Splatoon, but I don't like to stream it because I don't really have the funnest. Like, I love Splatoon, I love the lore, I love the characters. The game is very fun, but it's just it being on Nintendo servers, which are trash. And I just, like, I swear to God, the game matches me with, like, you know, I don't want to be like that guy, but they match me with the worst teammates on this planet. I don't know what is going on. I mean, like, literally, I literally blocked somebody because we were on a map. It was called Tower Control, and you have to sit on this tower and it'll move across the map. It's basically like Payload, right? And I see this guy just, like, running into a wall, and he's just letting the tower go by, and he's not trying to hit anyone on the enemy team, not doing anything. And then he just sits in the ink. Like, he just kind of, like, he moved, and then he just sat down in a spot, and I just, like, I walked over to him, and I just started shooting at him, and I'm just standing there. Someone throws a bomb. The dude doesn't even move. And he just dies, and I'm like... This guy's blatantly throwing the game. Like, he had an S+ badge, I believe, and he's just throwing the game. And I'm like, bro, we're playing competitive. This isn't like a free game mode, bro. Like, we're playing competitive, and you're literally just throwing the game. Like, that's not fun for either party. And I see it just happen way too often. I don't know, maybe I'm just stuck in ELO hell, but, like, we either completely curb stomp and destroy the enemy team, or we get curb stomped and destroy the enemy team. Or it's like one of the most dragged out, lame, fucking trash games I've ever played in my life, where, like, no one is getting an advantage over anyone. It doesn't matter who lives or dies because nothing happens. And it's just this boring game. Like, every game I fucking play, and it's so I get so aggravated playing that game. I don't know, like, but once again, I really love the art style, the characters, the storyline, the lore. It's just the player base that I hate. It's just everybody else that I hate. So yeah, I don't think I'm ever, like, the only time I think I will ever stream Splatoon is when the DLC comes out for the story mode. I will probably play the story mode DLC, and that's it. I know I played through the entire game on stream. Unfortunately, I don't have a VOD or anything of it because it got deleted off my Twitch because it's just been so long. But now every Twitch stream that I do, I'm going to be uploading to my YouTube channel, so there's always going to be a VOD of it. I love that so much. I don't know when they implemented that or whatever, but I finally got it working, and oh my god, that was the only thing stopping me from uploading my Twitch VODs, because like I would have to download the entire VOD onto my computer, then upload the entire VOD onto my YouTube, and I'm just like, that's so much fucking work. Like, I'm wasting so much of my fucking of my, because like Comcast and all their infinite glory fucking wants to charge you more if you go over a certain amount. I'm like, Comcast, I'm already paying you guys 200 and like, now it's like $60 a month for this shit, and you really have the audacity to try to cap my internet usage? Like, go fuck yourselves. Are you serious? Like, that's ridiculous. But anyways, going off on a million tangents, because that's what I do here. I can't wait to finish uploading this video because, goddamn, it's, once again, it's going to free up so much space on my fucking phone. Like, ridiculous. So anyways, yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. You know, there's kind of my little review of this deck. That's kind of what I've been doing, life update, etc., etc. More content to be coming soon, question mark? TM copyright? I don't know. I just kind of, like I said, I just kind of have fun with this. I just kind of do whatever. I'll probably upload some more collection stuff, some more, like I said, I kind of want to upload some HeroClix teams, you know, just for fun. It's not going to be anything competitive. It's not going to be anything like meta breaking, ground shaking. It's just going to be stuff that I'm interested in and stuff that I thought was cool. And honestly, it's probably like, if you know your HeroClix terminology, it's probably just going to be a lot of Golden Age, Silver Age stuff. Because me and my friends, we love using resource dials. We love using some of the pieces that got rotated out and that aren't in the modern standard right now. We're kind of just having fun with it. It's basically kitchen table Wild Wild West type of shit, you know. Not to say that we don't use modern pieces. Like, that's another thing. Probably another unboxing coming pretty soon, because there is a set that I'm very, very excited for. Well, it's already out. There's a couple sets I'm very excited for, but I wanted to kind of upgrade my arsenal, so to speak, of pieces. And I ended up pulling really decently, I suppose, from the Spider-Man set. So I have a handful of nice Spider-Man pieces. You know, we've got like a 50-point Venom. That 60-point uncommon Spider-Man is a sleeper hit. The common Black Cat from the Beyond Amazing set is fucking amazing. You pair her with some support pieces like the Matt Murdock. Matt Murdock, again, as a perplexer. Like, 30 points if you perplex down someone's stat. If you perplex down an opponent's stat, they cannot be positively modified until your next turn. Like, I just put him on my team, and my friend was using like a utility belt. I just completely shut him down. He's just like, oh, I'm gonna do the planning thing, or the it's on the first click where you could turn it to anything on the dial except that shows like a power or whatever. And you know, he's getting +2 to all his stats, and I'm just like, Matt Murdock, perplex him down. He cannot be positively modified until my next turn. Completely just shuts off so many things, because like not very many things have protected perplex. It's usually like protected outwit, you know. And then on top of that, yeah, so that, you know, I usually have Black Cat, and she carries with the Underworld keyword, or with the Underworld team ability, I'll have her carry J. Jonah Jameson from the set and Matt Murdock. She has perplex on top click for 40 points. She has it throughout her dial, along with like Outwit, I believe. And then, you know, I have her with J. Jonah and Matt Murdock, like my mobile perplex squad. You know, so I have probability control, mobile perplex, and she has stealth. That's nuts. That's nuts. You know, like, I don't know. I think that's a lot. That's nice. That's some good shit. You know, 60-point Spider-Man, 50-point Venom on the team for a couple beaters. And then we have room for more. I'm even using the 40-point Spiderling, and I think that's only like 250 points with all those. You know, you're sitting on 6 pieces, plus you have room for like a 50-point resource dial. You know, like, dude, that's pretty much everything. You know, Book of the Skull is only like, I think, 30. Utility Belt's only 14. Um, the Infinity Gauntlet's like 40, and then I think max. I think the Phoenix Force is like, yeah, 40 something, 42, I believe. So like literally, you have room for whatever the fuck you want, man. You have room for anything you want, bro. You have room. And you know, it's like we could replace so many of those pieces. It's so interchangeable, so open ended. So many good Spider-Man family keyword teams and pieces. Like it's nuts. I've been having a lot of fun just kind of, you know, mulling around with builds. And mind you, I don't even have anything like super rare or anything. I don't even think I have a rare on that team, because I think Spiderling is like uncommon. The Spider-Man is uncommon. I think maybe the Venom was a rare, but I think he's a common too. So yeah, I've just been I've been having a lot of fun. It's been refreshing because I'm coming off of Magic the Gathering, where there's a new product and a new release every fucking week, and I can't tell you, bro. Like, I was excited for the Lord of the Rings set, but as it's drawing closer and closer, I'm just not excited anymore. I just don't care, honestly. Like, I'm so burnt out of Magic. Like, I still enjoy playing it with the decks that I have, like my Shrine deck. That's another thing I might do. I might do some deck profiles just for fun. Obviously, it's just whatever's within my budget, whatever I have. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm just so burnt out of Magic. It's become an investor's game. It's become a game of not pulling cool cards and playing with them. It's about buying out product, sitting on it for years, and then, you know, quote unquote investor bros, you know, circle jerking each other. You know, I mean, it's been like that in the vintage market for so long, where it's just a couple of fucking idiots just trading cards in between each other to try to up that value. You know, and it's just like, this is why the fucking reserve list is trash. It's just anti-consumer. You know, this is supposed to be a hobby. This is supposed to be playing. We're playing with cards. We're supposed to be playing with them, right? This is a hobby. This is something for fun, and you assholes are just chewing up and eating up all the fucking product just because it's on some arbitrary list that was created fucking 2 decades ago, because they didn't want their game to die. You know, it was literally created for asshat players that are just like, well, my cards aren't like baseball cards that have like $10,000 in value, so it's like, fuck off. And then on top of that, Yu-Gi-Oh is the perfect encapsulation of, you don't need a fucking reserve list for your cards to hold value. It's a lie. It's a myth, people. It's a fucking lie. Look at the original Blue Eyes White Dragon from LOB 001 first edition. And tell me anyone, tell me the average Joe would spend that much on that card. It's not possible. Guess what would happen if Wizards reprinted every card on the reserve list tomorrow? Those cards are still going to be, it's insanely expensive, and I will guarantee that the reserve list, the original printings of those cards, are not going to drop in value, because we see it within the game itself. Original printings of cards, special printings of cards, they maintain their value. They don't drop to dramatically low prices unless the card is just not that sought after. It just doesn't happen. Look at the Great Hinge. Still an insanely expensive card. And that's a recent card too. Meat Hook Massacre is banned in Standard, and it's still an insanely expensive card. Like, it's like $40 for a piece of fucking cardboard. You know, like, you can't tell me that the reserve list is healthy and that the reserve list is good for the game, because it's just not. Like, your cards hold value. Dude, my fucking Mana Crypt that is still in booster boxes that you can pull to this day, that's where I got mine out of a mystery booster box, it's only been going up. It's still a $200 card. Like, what? I, unless you print it into the ground, and then that's another thing, right? Look at our fucking game, people. Soul Ring used to be insanely expensive, and then it's printed in every single commander deck. And guess what? Even though it's printed in every single new commander deck, the original printings are still insanely expensive. We literally have situations within our own card game, people. We have situations within our own card game that prove the reserve list does not matter. It does not matter. Cards are going to maintain their value, period. And still people want to cry and say that the reserve list is necessary because, oh, well, it makes the card, it maintains its value because it's never going to be reprinted. Shut the fuck up, dude. You have no idea what you're talking about. Like, we literally have situations where a card is printed into the dirt and it still has insanely expensive. Literally, look at the Masterpiece Soul Ring. That's almost $1,000 for a card that's printed in every commander deck. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, dude. Like, there is literally examples within our own card game that people refuse to look at. You know, like all the reserve list is anti-consumer garbage, and I mean that's just kind of what WotC is doing with their card game. It's just anti-consumer garbage. Like, everything spits in the face of the consumer, and I don't know. I'm kind of moving to other things, you know, that are funner to invest in and to play in, because I don't need to worry about the 30 new cards coming out for Commander in the next set, and the insanely overtuned, overpowered cards that are introduced into Standard because Wizards wants to sell products to everyone and anyone that will buy their products. Like, they want you to keep buying the new thing. And by the way, new things come out every week, every month, every blah, 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 blah. New secret layers, new booster boxes, new half sets, new epilogue sets, fat packs, the works. They want you to keep buying it. You can't have a break. You can't just sit down and enjoy your shit, right? Look at HeroClix. They release they're doing, like, and HeroClix is one of the biggest examples that I've seen. What happened when HeroClix at least died out in my area? Guess what was happening? We were getting a new set like every month, every other month. There was always a thing going on every single month. We couldn't just sit back and enjoy it. Guess what happens? We had the Infinity Gauntlet. Every single month, we had to go to a tournament every single time, every month. We had to go to complete our gauntlet. And guess what happens? The month after the gauntlet was finished, this was the last tournament. I won my Colossal Thanos, and I completed my Infinity Gauntlet. I completed the Infinity Challenge. We get Batman's utility belt. And we dial as month 1 with 1 piece on it. And then we got month 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there was like 7 and 8. And then what happens after you complete your utility belt, and then you get your Batcave, you win your Batcave, right? What happens after that? We had War of the Light. Now we have to collect all the lantern batteries, all the rings, all the constructs. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't that. It was Book of the Skull next. My point being, there was no time in between to just sit back and enjoy the game. I didn't have time to learn how to play with my utility belt because the Book of the Skull was coming out. I didn't have time to test and to play and to use my Infinity Gauntlet because the utility belt was coming out. I didn't have time to play and test and use teams with the Book of the Skull because the fucking War of Light came out. Like, it was just on and 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 on. And the only reason why Magic hasn't imploded on itself yet is because of how big it is. It is the biggest card game on this fucking planet. But I guarantee you, one day enough is going to be enough. And if Magic doesn't fucking pull back, I swear to God, like, so many people have already been complaining about product fatigue. There's only so much people can take. The most avid consumer, and I mean with 2 O's, like the consumer, bro. there's only so much people can take. There's only so much damage they can take to their wallet before it just does not become a worthwhile investment anymore. And that happens when you flood the market with product. I don't know. And it might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen next year. It might not happen 5 years. It might not happen a decade from now. Who knows? But I'm just saying, if they stay the course, it no longer becomes a game, and it becomes an investor product, is all I'm trying to say. It's what burned me out of Magic. It's what's burning a lot of people I talk to out of Magic. I don't know. I mean, hey, and mind you, okay, yeah, confirmation bias, but I can only speak for myself. And honestly, I'm just feeling burnt out of Magic because I can't just play the game and play with my stuff. I have to worry about it, because that's the thing. It's that fear of missing out, and once you miss out, it is so much easier to continue to miss out and just not fucking care. I missed out on the last one, so I don't really give a shit about the next one. No, I couldn't really buy that set of secret layers because I mean, you know, I just had to pay some bills. It just wasn't really feasible for me to buy the ones that I really wanted, so I just didn't buy any of them. Well, you know, yeah, I mean, I kind of just skipped that set. I don't really play standard anyways. I didn't really need any of the cards that were coming out. Nothing really wowed me. So yeah, I just kind of skipped it. Once you have overcome that fear of missing out, it becomes so much easier to just keep missing out. I mean, I don't know, and that's just me coming from the heart here when it comes to that. I mean, I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So I mean, that's kind of just wraps up some stuff. I guess just to kind of tie everything into a neat little bow. I went to go see the Flash movie today. That was pretty fun. We were gonna go see the Spider-Man movie, but that was super packed. Then we were gonna go see Elementals, which I really wanted to go see. That was super packed, and so we just went to go see the Flash, which was also pretty packed. But it was in the first auditorium, which had the most seats, so there was more seating. I still got really motion sick, and I had to like look away from the screen several times because I was just like, it was bad. My friend was also getting motion sick because we had to sit in the third row from the screen, so that sucked ass. But pretty entertaining movie. I don't know. I thought it was all right. Obviously, wasn't the best. Wasn't like groundbreaking or anything, but I mean, it was entertaining for me to watch. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, from here, I'm probably gonna sleeve up this deck. Probably want to keep that sealed. I don't really know where I'm gonna go with this. I might use this because I bought this from my LGS. This is kind of like, ow, that hurt. This is kind of like my go-to deck box for anything. The only problem I have with these boulders, they don't fit standard size over-sleeved cards. That's really it. Otherwise, I really like these boulders. Very durable. I haven't had one of these crack open on me yet, where it just spilled my cards out in my backpack or whatever. So these are very nice. Unfortunately, I'm also getting into Digimon, which is a standard size along with Magic the Gathering. If you were ever wondering, so Mini is going to be your Vanguard size and your Yu-Gi-Oh size sleeves, which also I was kind of looking at a couple Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I'm getting into way too many hobbies, man. I swear to God. Like, I'm getting into way too many hobbies. God, it's also super fucking late. I didn't know it was that late. Oh my God. I've been talking for almost 2 hours. So anyways, yeah, so that's kind of, you know, so Mini is your Vanguard and Yu-Gi-Oh. Standard size is going to be like your Magic the Gathering, Digimon, Pokemon, Force of Will, which I was also playing again for a minute. I love Force of Will, but like, again, there's really no player base here. And then on top of that, it just, to me, it seems like every kind of cluster, every, not box, but every kind of set of boosters, I should say, kind of tries to come out with a new mechanic, because it really seems like they're just trying to like get a foothold on what they actually want to do with the game. So I don't know, that kind of made me feel weird. Like, they literally went from like a two ruler format where you had your 2 main cards out. Like, it used to be 1. You'd build your deck around the 1. Then they had the tag mechanic where you could have 2. Then they immediately ditched that in the next like set of boosters for a for an order mechanic, which I thought was kind of neat. That kind of burned me out though. And now they have a whole other new mechanic that's also kind of trying to bring back some old. I don't know, man. I don't know. Whatever. That kind of burns me out, is like constantly introducing and trying to reshape the wheel and pump out new mechanics. Still love Force of Will, just really wish they could just settle on something and just settle on it. But yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, that's kind of been my life. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to do this little unboxing, which became a not so little unboxing because this is almost a 2-hour long video. Once again, super lazy, not going to cut anything out. Just going to upload this to my channel and have this fat 2-hour long video. I don't know. I've never liked, unironically saying like, comment, and subscribe, so fuck that. I don't care. If you do say something, I'll probably answer it, you know. I'll usually check my stuff. But yeah, I don't really think anyone watches my stuff. Like, I've had a couple clicks, but like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm boring. Like, my streams are just me kind of trying to chill out. That's what they've always been. It's just me trying to chill out. Just play video games, fuck around. Maybe I'll talk about some random shit every so often. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you have any questions, you know, about this deck or about anything else, hero clicks, anything, you know, like I'll get back to you about it. I like putting my knowledge out there if anyone wants it, anyone needs it for anything. So yeah, any other questions, just let me know. I think I'm just going to start uploading this video now. So, I mean, hey, if you stuck around this long and listen to me ramble and bitch about random shit, thank you. I don't know what else to say. You know, thank you for that. Thank you for being my internet therapist, I guess. Yeah, more to come soon, I suppose. Just random hobbies and random little knickknacks and things like that. Things that I like, things that I enjoy. Yeah. Later.